Okay, so Erika Kirk is on her way to get her hands on a fresh batch of young people. And I know how that sounds, but stay with me because what she's actually doing might be even worse. There is an institution, a very specific type of institution that has spent decades carefully deciding which minds it wants to shape and which voices it wants behind a microphone. And after watching Erika Kirk spend months clawing her way into relevance on the back of her dead husband, they looked at everything. The head caressing of JD Vance, the sparkly pantsuits, the pyrotechnics, they looked at it all and everything she is and decided she was exactly what they were looking for. And they're handing her a room full of young people. And I'm not going to tell you where yet because first you need to know what this woman has actually been hiding. Because when you find out, the fact that any institution would point at her and want her in a room full of young people starts to make a very specific kind of sense. And it's not a good one.
You guys might think it's great to laugh at certain things that aren't funny. But
and real quick, I'm Lauren Paritra. Willa Paritra is taking a nap behind me. We have got to maintain our lead on Katie Miller. Katie Miller is the wife of Stephen Little Bitch Miller, the pale white nationalist from Santa Monica behind all of this ICE terror. And currently, our lead on her is closing in. And we've got to hold our ground. So consider every sub, every like, every comment, 6 words or more, as an FU to Katie and Stephen Little Bitch Miller. So let's talk about who Erika Kirk actually is, because I feel like nobody has really even bothered to ask that question besides Candace Owens. And the media has been so wrapped up in the grief narrative and the media blitz that we skipped right past the obvious thing, which is, who was this woman before any of this happened? And the answer is, honestly, nobody you would have fucking heard of. She won Miss Arizona in 2012, which is fine, good for her, whatever, except she's still talking about it 14 years later. The woman who won the year after her has already almost certainly moved on with her life and is doing something. Erika is still putting it in her bio. Between that and Charlie's death, her life is a lot to try and follow. She was modeling, she was running a casting agency, she was living in Romania, doing evangelical ministry work with orphans.
I believe that we all have angels in our lives, and these are my little angels from Antonio Placement Center in Constanța, Romania.
She was trying to get onto reality TV. She was trying really hard. She was running a clothing company. She was living in multiple countries across multiple years. And at the same time, while doing all these other things, she was going to multiple colleges. We'll come back to that, okay? Now, when Erika didn't just inherit his company within 7 days. She inherited his audience and social channels too. And that audience was not exactly thrilled about it. Because the same people that she and Charlie spent years telling to forget the career and focus on being a vessel for birthing, and that all that really matters in your life is being a wife and a mother, those exact people turned around and said, okay, but like, why is this woman running a company then? Why is she on every TV network that will give her a microphone?
You know, I get this question too of, well, you know, you were a stay-at-home mom and all this stuff, like, that's what you should go back to doing or something like that. Unfortunately, I did not see my life being like this. I didn't. So when people are like, oh, she's now this role, I'm honoring what the Lord has put in front of me, and I'm also honoring my husband's request.
Shouldn't you be home with your kids? We've never seen you at home with your kids this whole time. Isn't that kind of the opposite of everything you've been preaching? And look, I'm not going to pretend I feel bad for her on that one. She helped build that audience and she peddled this narrative. And she was right there next to Charlie, nodding along while he told young women that their highest calling in life was motherhood, being a vessel for a birthing, not a career. She was part of that message for years. She was complicit in it, and now she's pushing it herself. But now she's pushing it while running the whole operation.
Like young women in here, if you do create a company or a business and you're an entrepreneur, build it in a way that it sustains itself so that when you do find your husband and you have children, family, that's your main focus.
And she wants people to take her seriously. And to do that, she needs something to point to, some reason she belongs in that seat beyond just being his widow. She needs credentials, which is where this starts to get really interesting. So Erika has been claiming for years that she graduated from Arizona State University in 2012. Summa cum laude, to be exact, with a double major, and hold on to this one, in political science and international relations and foreign affairs. And that's a very specific, impressive sounding thing to claim. It's basically her way of saying to everyone who would question her and tell her, hey, Erika, maybe like sit down. She's trying to say, hey, actually, I'm pretty educated. I've earned this. Except according to Arizona State University records from 2011 to 2012, the academic catalog, ASU didn't offer a bachelor's degree in international relations or foreign affairs at that time.
This is their academic catalog archive. These are the master's degrees. These are the bachelor's degrees. So I'll just save you the trouble here. If I search international relations, there's no such degree.
The program did not exist when she says she graduated from it. And her name is not on the summa cum laude honors list for that year either.
She's listed down here with the plebes, with the people who just got regular degrees. These are the people who graduated with academic recognition. There is no Erika Lane Francevey. She would be right in this region, right in here, right after Francis, right after Franklin. France, there's a France, there's no Francevey.
So she didn't just stretch the truth a little bit. She invented a degree in a program that the school wasn't even offering. And she has been telling people about it for over 10 years. And then Candace Owens, of all people, comes out with documentation showing every college Erika Kirk attended and the dates: Regis University in Colorado, Arizona State, Liberty University in Virginia, and the enrollment dates all overlap. She would have had to be attending multiple schools at the same time, while also modeling, while living in another country, while trying to get on TV, while allegedly running a clothing company. It just doesn't add up. And the timeline is physically impossible. So when you put all that together, you've got a woman with a degree that she made up in a program that doesn't exist, a personal timeline that makes no fucking sense, a platform that only exists because her husband was killed, and a fan base that is actively calling into question why she's in charge based on the ideology she spent years and is currently promoting herself. And some institution out there looked at all of that and said, yes, her. That's who we want talking to our students. Think about it from the student's perspective. Just for a second. You spent 4 years grinding through a degree, the debt, the exams, the terrible group projects, and the person they picked to stand at the podium and send you off into the world is Erika Kirk, who invented a degree in a program that didn't exist, talking to a room of people, a room full of people that actually did the work. Okay, yeah, that institution that's like, this is what we want, that institution is Hillsdale College. It is a small, private, conservative Christian school in Michigan that has quietly turned itself into one of the biggest far-right pipelines in the entire country. They were involved in drafting Project 2025. They have a course about how Marxism is destroying America. They spent years straight up refusing federal funding, saying, we don't want federal funding. You keep your money, government, because we want to keep our racism. They literally said, we do not want federal funding, specifically because they didn't want to follow anti-discrimination laws. They didn't land on Erika Kirk by accident. They looked at the sea of potential commencement speakers and they said, we want the wackiest bee we could find. And they picked her because she is exactly who they want to speak to their students and send them off into the world. They want Erika Kirk in front of their students on purpose. She's handed her dead husband's platform and she wanted the fame so badly. She wanted the attention badly enough that she never stopped pushing on the backs of people to give it to her. She is their commencement speaker and Hillsdale is calling it an honor. And if you think Erika Kirk has been given way too many microphones and press opportunities and stages, then leave us a comment. 6 words or more. Hit that subscribe button. We cannot grow without your support. We bootstrap this operation. I've been through equipment fucking hell to make this work, to make the sound work, to make the light work for you all. We're bootstrapping it and we cannot grow without your support. So let us know what you want to talk about more next.